Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with the start of our second F1 22 career mode. Yes, today we're going to be jumping in with the start of our all new Haas Road to Glory. Of course, I put a vote out a couple of weeks ago, you know, as the Williams Road to Glory came to an end on F1 2021, I thought, you know what, I want to do another one on F1 22. So I left it up to you guys to decide. I think I gave you Williams, McLaren, Haas, Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo, and I think in the end it was about 12,000 of you voted, and in the end, yes, as you will have probably guessed by the title, we're going to be rocking Haas for our all-new 2022 Road to Glory. Of course, yeah, there are some differences between the My Team career modes and the driver career modes, hence why I like to do one of each on the games there, you know, just to explore some of the different features. Of course, if you missed out on our Williams Road to Glory from last year, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. You know, there are some subtle format changes that are a bit different to the My Team career mode, you know, shorter qualifying sessions. We don't tend to feature practice, we just do that sort of behind the scenes. You know, this is more about just trying to get a team up to the front. Of course, Williams last year is about them trying to get back to the front. Haas this year, it's uncharted territory. Of course, never have had a podium in real-life Formula 1. So hopefully this season we're going to change that with the start of our all-new Road to Glory then. So racing as a driver, we're going to be skipping straight to F1 there. I'm planning, of course, when the F2 22 season comes out, we're going to jump into that as well. But yeah, let's jump straight into F1 then, here with Haas. So you'll start from the beginning of the season, or of course you can choose to start from a real weekend. We're going to be starting back from square one in Sakir there, and like I said, of course, always the first season of these series, I do a full season. We might then change it around a bit further down the line as well there. But of course, yeah, we're going to use custom settings, so I'll jump through all of that, make sure everything's as it should be. Right, well, here we are then, the big moment, about to pick our all-new team for F1 22. Of course, you know, the likes of Ferrari, they want to return to winning ways there. Red Bull and, of course, Mercedes want to try and fight for the championship. Alfa Romeo, now, of course, inside the top four on F1 22 there. But quite interesting to see, you know, the different teams' hopes and goals for F1 22 here. So, of course, Haas, the team are looking to embark upon a new era of competition, are looking for drivers who can help them achieve a constant improvement and fight the midfield teams for points. Yes, of course, that is the goal there. Looks already like they're actually a bit further behind than where they are in the My Team career mode there, so we're going to have to continue applying the upgrades as soon as possible. But, of course, based in Canapolis, Gunther Steiner, our team principal, and let's get ready then to take out the VF22. Of course, Ferrari-powered car as well, so got to get used to the different nuances between the Renault power of our 212 car and, of course, the Ferrari power units here. But, yeah, Haas is the team to beat. And of course, yep, I did also run another vote, which about 10,000 of you took part in, as to whether Kevin Magnussen or Mick Schumacher would be our teammate. And you guys voted in the end, I think it was like 65-35. I thought Mick Schumacher was probably going to win, and in fact he has done so. But hopefully Kevin Magnussen will find himself a seat somewhere else on the grid. But yeah, Mick Schumacher will be our teammate here in F1 22. So of course then, 1,000 R&D points already we can go wild in the aisles with. Looks like the car's already got a very competitive power unit and durability, but it's just the chassis and the aero that we're really lacking there. So we'll go straight off the bat then with an improved energy store. Can we try and do a chassis upgrade as well? Yeah, we'll go with the secondary wing flaps there. So no R&D points left. But fingers crossed as we head towards the first race of the year, both those upgrades will go on the car. 350 R&D points a week, though, means hopefully we should be able to get one more upgrade on. Or not, apparently. Immediately, the first upgrade I've tried to do on F1 22 is not going to go down there, so that'll have to come on ready for Bahrain, sorry, ready for Saudi Arabia in next week out there. But yeah, still got a few. Been a little while then since Haas last rocked the 21 on the car. Of course, Esteban Gutierrez back in F1 2016 nabbed my number, which was very frustrating. Thank God he was useless in Haas's first year of competition there. But yeah, almost ready then for the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend. We've still got 450 R&D points, so nothing quite yet to put another upgrade on the car, but we've got a little bit of money as well, and you've got to always remember to try and spend these. So we're going to get a resource points boost by 10% early on in the game, and yeah, fingers crossed that'll help us. You know, we need to apply upgrades early on in the campaign, but like I said, you know, this series not quite as consistent as the My Team career mode. You know, we're only going to be doing races on this, you know, hopefully daily for the first week or so, and then it'll sort of drop back to once every other day there or thereabouts, obviously whilst we really try and grind through the My Team career mode. And like I said, of course, we don't really feature practice from this series either, so let's get into qualifying then here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like.
Hello folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for this, the inaugural round of the 2022 Formula 1 World Championship. And I've got to say, it feels great to be back. As is tradition, there is something of an air of a first day back at school on arrival here. But it's more than that, because the new era of Formula 1 has arrived. And with it, the eagerly anticipated new car regulations, which have been designed to help promote better racing. With clean sculpted lines, swooping rear and front wings, which should allow cars to follow each other more closely, new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres, the return of ground effect, and a reduction of aerodynamic physical adornments, the new cars look strikingly different, all while improving safety and pushing the limit of technical ingenuity. So then, which teams have interpreted the rules most effectively, and which drivers will adapt to their new car the quickest, leading the charge against the rest of the pack? Only time will tell. As always, we can't wait for this season to begin, but for now, from us, that's you.
Well, here we are then, back in Capure. Of course, only yesterday I was racing around here for the first time in the My Team career mode. But yeah, today we're back once more with the all-new Haas Road to Glory then. Must admit, this car, yeah, exactly as described pre-season there when you look at the development graph. A missile down the straights, but incredibly loose and lively through the corners. So early on this year, it is going to be quite a test there. There's a little bit of a lock-up down at turn 1. Tried a few different tweaks in free practice to try and get the setup where I wanted it. Still don't feel 100% confident, but I feel like we're learning the car quite quickly already. But yeah, very, very difficult car to have any sort of confidence in for a couple of corners. Here it's just that fine balance between taking enough aero off that you've still got speeds down the straight, and then having enough aero that things like that don't happen. Yeah, very, very loose, like I said, this car. Going to be a lot of work early on in this game, but at least we know what we need to focus on development-wise. The exact opposite of the My Team car. The 20 cars as well in this career, but there is yellow flags out in Sector 2 for some reason. So, of course, got to try and make the top 15 now in qualifying, as again, that's going to be a little bit too late down at turn 1 there. Have to brake before the 100-metre board. So you're trying to attack the curbs on the exit. We're going to go straight back out on the old set of tyres. So definitely have lost a tiny bit of performance, but still should hopefully now get a benchmark on the board. Well, so far then, this first lap's been fairly tidy for the most part as we head down towards the final corner. No idea where we're going to be at the end of the first run though. Really got no idea what to expect actually early on in this career mode. There's a very, very tight midfield pack in F1 22. 7th place? Okay. 8 tenths away from George Russell's a little... behind Schumacher even. Is a little bit concerning, but definitely a bit more time to find on the board. I will take that. Right, we're going out then for our second, hopefully proper run of the session. 5 minutes left on the clock. Are going to have to decide, though, towards the end of this lap, whether the improvement's going to be worth finishing it, or whether we think we can go any faster there, because we won't have enough time to finish this run, box, and then get back on a fresh set of tyres there. So I think, yeah, if we can find some improvement, I'd probably be very, very happy there. Is actually try and get the car remotely close to the apex through turn 1 there. That massively opens up the run through turn 2 and turn 3 there. And look at that immediately. 3 tenths found on the board as we head up the hill. Team saying, yeah, we're pretty good on fuel as we head up towards the top of the hill there. Got to be really, really careful over that curb as you head down the one gear through the S's there. Carl wants to try and break free, but you've just got to try and stop it from doing so there. Through the hairpin, third gear, and then get back on the loud pedal on the X. There is a little kick of oversteer off the corner as we now head down through turn 9 and 10. Again, try and actually spot the apex there. Done pretty well that time. Ah! That's going to completely ruin this run then, I suppose. Then it's been a pretty eventful qualifying session here from Bahrain, but, you know, you've got to try and explore the limit of the car. I can definitely see now why Mick Schumacher's lost this thing a couple of times so far this season. It is incredibly lively, this Haas car, but 20 seconds left on the clock, then time's rapidly improving from a lot of drivers. Let's see if we can now actually try and improve our run there. As again, spot the braking point down at turn 1. Oh, I do reckon there is a good sort of 7-8 tenths though on this lap. I reckon we can get pretty close to the benchmark set by our teammate Mick Schumacher. But we are really going to have to concentrate around this lap there as well. We're going to try to avoid the curb at the top of the hill. That time around they're not getting the best run on the way in. Also, you really cannot lean on the curbs on F122. Even less so in the Haas car. There is a little bit of a lock-up down at the bottom of the hill. Should allow us a big run off the exit there, but again, another huge wheel spin moment, and we are really, really struggling to try and get the car where I want it on this qualifying lap. There is again, just not quite able to get the run out into the back straight there. This thing is absolutely ragged around a lap here of Sakir as we try and tip it in through the exit of Sector 2. We are now back up into the green, but it's still not by much as we head up in towards the final couple of corners. Just try and keep it nice and tidy there. Try and get a nice run down in towards the final turn. Look at that, we're still only about a tenth up at the moment. We're currently down in P11 as we head through the final turn. Hopefully going to find a little bit more there. There we go, about another quarter of a second up then by the end of the lap. It is going to put us P10 in the end. Not brilliant, but we'll take it as a good test mark. Well, I don't think anyone was ever going to predict that to be our top 3 here at the end of qualifying. Lewis Hamilton, despite all of Mercedes' woes in pre-season testing there, lines up on pole, ahead of Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez there, Alonso, Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, and then our teammate Mick Schumacher in at 7th place there, ahead of Charles Leclerc. Verstappen down in P17 there, so a very, very weird qualifying session here in Bahrain, but points are definitely on the board in the Grand Prix today. We just have to keep it clean and tidy, settle down in the race. We had a bit more time in the car in qualifying, so let's get into it then here in Bahrain. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. Formula 1 returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, and Joe, Mick Schumacher, Leclerc, Russell and Mr. Monaco, Norris, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Bottas, Albon, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo, Latifi and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. So here we are in 2022 at the start of another Formula One World Championship. It all begins here, the start of the next generation of Formula One. With the end of the second turbocharged era, a new dawn begins. New regulations have been brought in to promote better racing, with the two big standout changes being the wheel size increase and the aerodynamics on the car itself. But will this result in us having a repeat fight for the Driver Championship? Will Mercedes retain their Constructors' title? We have lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Let's hope for some good racing today as well. We can't know at this point how competitive the teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody's able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checker flag.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the start of our all-new Haas Road to Glory. Both cars inside the top 10, so maybe, just maybe, it won't take us as long to get to the top here in F1 22. But of course, one-stop strategy tonight, gotta be honest, I do kind of miss the different strategies from F1 2021 there. You know, of course, the real-life rule changes might have made the real sport, you know, it didn't really change much in real life. Certainly did on the F1 games, though. You know, the likes of Spain always got a crazy result just due to cars starting outside the top 10 being able to go super long on their tyres and causing a roadblock here. But gotta keep it clean and tidy. We're starting inside the top 10. Fingers crossed we'll finish here as well tonight, as Hamilton very, very surprised to be leading the way from the front there. 7 cars from 7 different teams inside the top 10.
Good on the power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Yeah, only Ferrari, Mercedes and ourselves able to get both cars into the top 10. Of course, I almost said Q3 there. Of course, it is only the one qualifying session in this career mode. But, yeah, fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy at the start, and let's get into it. Well, George Russell has been uncharacteristically slowly on this formation lap there. We've actually got the jump on our fellow Brit as we head down out of the final corner. We've got to try and get some heat into the rear tyres there and just let the Mercedes close back up a little bit. I've no doubt in real life you'd probably get a penalty for that. We're going to try and line up the car nice and tidy then as we head down ready. Of course, such a long run down towards turn 1 here in Capure. We're going to aim the car slightly towards the middle of the road and just coast it in to the start line. There we go, nice and purple. As ready on the grid then here in Bahrain, waiting on those 5 red lights for round 1 of the career mode. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. Oh, not the best start in the world there as we try and temper the wheel spin down towards turn 1. But certainly not my worst either, as we're going to try and go a little bit brave on the brakes in towards the first corner. There up the inside of George Russell and Charles Leclerc. And look at that, we have made up spots then at the start of the race. There are Tsunoda and Zhou Guanyu, both of course had fantastic qualifying sessions against their more experienced teammates there as they're going to go side by side up towards the top of the hill. Big lock-up, though, as we head down towards turn 4. And Charles Leclerc will say thank you very much. I mean, we've absolutely been launched into by George Russell there. Somehow we get away with no front wing damage. Is that a VSC? I think that might be a VSC there. There's a lot of carnage early on here in the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is just a virtual safety car, and apologies to George Russell. I mean, we did get a huge chunk of wheel spin there, and kind of felt like we couldn't really do a lot about it. You know, we were just trying to keep our car going in the right direction there, but George Russell, wrong place at the wrong time. And when all is said and done there, we're still in P10 on this opening lap. Hamilton's hung on ahead of Carlos Sainz there. And look at that, Alonso up into P3 ahead of Sergio Perez. But yeah, we, I don't think, have picked up any damage. They just really struggled to get the tyres working off the start, but with a VSC, that should give us a helping hand. Right, well, green flag racing once again then here in Bahrain, as hopefully now we can try and get our head down. Got to try and use some of the energy according to Mark early on, but yeah, just got to try and have a bit more of a tempered response now. Of course, that VSC really did help me out because we were all over the show early on in this race. Oh, I mean, this car is just super loose on traction. It's worse than the My Team car there, as I think that was Bottas trying to think about a look at the inside. A problem I'm quickly learning with the Haas is, of course, the proximity arrows, and near enough impossible to see, because, of course, it's a white car, so that's going to make things very, very fun early on. But got to try and close it to Lando Norris. This is really going to test my awareness, as I mean, theoretically, we should be slightly quicker than the McLaren. Oh, here we go. Charles Leclerc all over the back, or all alongside Mick Schumacher early on in this race. His DRS is still going to be enabled, and look at that, we've actually got pace to hang on down the straightaways against a lot of other cars there, as Charles Leclerc sends it on our teammate Mick, and up now into P7 for the Ferrari man. We're going to have the DRS though on Lando Norris, but is Mick about to get shuffled backwards? Charles Leclerc there around the outside of Zhou Guanyu down at the final corner, as Hamilton still under a lot of pressure from Carlos Sainz at the front of the field. As we start lap 4, just trying to hang on to Lando and Mick early on here. I feel like we have got good pace in the car, like I said. It's just about trying to get it utilised every lap, because any mistake, immediately you're on the back foot there, as Zhou Guanyu tries to come back at Charles Leclerc, but has to accept defeat in that one. Flags out, someone's got issues around us. I think it's, yeah, must be Bottas behind, who seems to be dropping down the order here. So we have Zhou Guanyu retire in the My Team series in Sakir. And is Bottas going to do the same? No, I reckon he just locked up behind us there. So Bottas getting moved backwards, as yeah, we've now got 9 tenths in front, 9 tenths behind. Have to stick in that DRS of the gaggle of cars in front. There goes Mick on Zhou Guanyu back down towards turn 1, former F2 rivals. As can our teammate make it work in the Haas car there, not quite through turn 1. And Zhou Guanyu will force him out wide on the exit of 2 as we head back up the hill there. As there we go, Mick Schumacher again having a look up the inside. Brilliant racing between the two young talents. As will Mick Schumacher hang on now? No, again, Zhou Guanyu around the outside. And look at that, Lando Norris trying to get his elbows in as well. This is brilliant racing between the three. That at the final corner then. Really don't want to try and use too much battery early on here. We need to have stuff to defend ourselves with later on in the afternoon if required. But here we go. Schumacher again on Zhou Guanyu. There is all. The Chinese driver just squeezes my teammate out once more down towards turn 1. I think Schumacher thought there was an opening on the outside. But absolutely not there, as we almost Nikita Mazepin it as we head up the hill, but we live to fight another day. Here we go. Once more, Mick and Zhou down towards turn 1. Who's going to be able to pull it off this time round? Mick Schumacher on the inside of Zhou Guanyu. And is he going to be now able to make the move work there? Fantastic move around the outside through turn 1 by our teammate Mick Schumacher. There is, look at this, Lando Norris, ever the opportunist. Going to have a look up the inside as we head up the hill. And oh, Lando Norris trying to get 2 for the price of 1 there at the top of the hill. We've got the best seat in the house to watch this battle unfold as we head down in towards the S's there. And look at that. Zhou Guanyu not wanting to give up then. Wanted to try and get a move up the inside there, but not going to find the room. I think we just got to sit back and watch this one at the moment, because I definitely do not need damage early on in this Grand Prix there. But it's given our teammate a little bit of breathing space there. As these two... Oh, what? Zhou Guanyu has just completely sent Lando Norris to the shadow realm in this Grand Prix there. They've all gone backwards. It's been carnage there. I think Sebastian Vettel even got involved. What was that? I mean, that couldn't have really worked out better for either of the Haas cars there, because now Mick and I, in a nice, safe little P7 and P8 there. Alex Albon now into the points for Williams as well, as Lance Stroll a bit further back's got a 5-second penalty. But I've got no idea what that was all about, as I think, yeah, looking at it, Zhou Guanyu, I want to say, is battling now with his teammate. But, yeah, me and Mick now, just got to try and keep our head down, because this would be some solid points to start the year. Yeah, so getting towards the pit stop phase then. Both myself and Mick now setting pretty decent and consistent lap times. I'm actually taking a little bit of time out of Yuki Tsunoda as well here. So it might just be the ultimate teamwork makes the dream work this weekend. If we can sort of drag each other along and get a bit closer to the AlphaTauri, because I mean that would basically put us best of the rest when you exclude Fernando Alonso. Of course, El Plan, always rapid, it would appear there, and the wily old fox having a brilliant start to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Yeah, myself and Mick though, good consistent times. Oh, yellow flag's out. Charles Leclerc I think's gone round in this Grand Prix. So is he going to struggle to rejoin the circuit there, or is he going to come out right with Tsunoda? Yes, he is. So Charles Leclerc then, still seemingly very hot-headed early on in the Grand Prix, making plenty of moves, but couldn't quite get around Fernando Alonso. As we're going to box the end of this lap. Into the pits then at the end of lap 12 there, a little bit earlier actually than a lot of other cars in this Grand Prix. Oh, just about got it slowed down into the pit lane there. Alex Albon behind us is going to dive it in as well as one of the Alfa Romeos. I think that was Valtteri Bottas into the pits as well. As can we nail this? Yes, we can there. Avoid the Alfa Romeo pit crew whilst we're at it. Fingers crossed, no issues. Yes. So am I. 2.5 seconds there. So we've got to remember cold rubber on pit exit. I mean, yeah, fourth gear wheel spin. Very, very fun there. It's just nothing through the first couple of turns. Of course, if you guys remember, back in Sakir, we saw Zhou Guanyu actually jump Hamilton up this next straightaway as Hamilton tried to put heat into the rubber. But now, yeah, we just got to try and get the car. Oh, my. Look at that. Nothing. Nothing at the top of the hill there. As I was going to try and undercut Mick Schumacher, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we go then, Mick into the pit lane at the end of that lap there. But I mean, we've lost a good 2.5, 2 seconds here to Alex Albon just behind us. As we try and put the power down. We've just got nothing early on these tyres there. We shouldn't get relegated down the order at all. Because again, of course, Albon was the car we were racing with, or racing behind us, into the pit lane as we head out of the final turn. Should now re-emerge closer to the points. But look how far Mick Schumacher's ahead as we exit out of the pit lane here. What's the gap now? Like 7 seconds between myself and our teammate. I mean, he should lose a little bit more as this lap slowly unfolds there. It looks like Tsunoda has gone another lap. But yes, 6.2. So he's pulled out well over 3 seconds on me over that pit window. That is rather alarming. Oh, we've got yellow flags out behind. I think that's Valtteri Bottas again that's gone round. So Valtteri, yeah, really not having a fun day out in his debut for Alfa Romeo. But at the moment, yeah, Alex Albon is just taking time out of me, and we can't do anything trying to warm up this rubber. There we go, final few cars into the pit lane. The likes of Sebastian Vettel, Lando Norris, and of course, yeah, one of the Alpines of Esteban Ocon. So we're back up into 8th then. But Yuki Tsunoda now a long, long way up the road. Albon not too far behind. Should have a little bit of pace over the Williams in the second half of this event. I'm sure he'd love to try and get some points on the board for them as well to kickstart the campaign. But 6 seconds to Mick up the road. It looks like he's lost place to Tsunoda as well. So the undercut is just not possible on F1 22. Half race distance though. Got to keep our head down. I'm just monitoring the gap over the last few laps. It has started to go the right way once more. And, you know, being very, very optimistic here. Yeah, Albon very, very quickly getting pushed further back behind us. But, yeah, let's say in a hypothetical world then, just monitoring the gap then between myself and the cars around us. Albon very quickly getting shuffled a bit further away, which is always really good there. But even the gap to Mick and Yuki just coming down slightly. It's not enough at the rate it's going to close up to him by the end. But let's say those two cars start battling. Maybe throw away sort of a good 3 seconds going side by side. You know, we could definitely still get involved in that battle by the end of the Grand Prix. They're ever the opportunist myself. But, yeah, we'll wait and see, though. But 12 laps to go here from Bahrain. Might not end up being the most exciting race, but we're absolutely getting the job done to start the year, which is what we need. Yeah, lap 21, though. Gap to Schumacher and Tsunoda. Apparently I'm my worst enemy on this game. Because ever since then, we've just had small little lockups, things like that cost us a little bit of time. When we absolutely nail a lap, we do take a couple of tenths out of them, but trying to demand that sort of consistency in a car like this is going to be near impossible. We are keeping the gap to Albon behind, though, pretty stable, so I think we are likely just going to bring this car home in P8 unless anything crazy happens. Like I said,
6.9 seconds.
You know, not the most exciting race in the world, especially through a lot of the second half, but exactly what Haas would want think in real life, you know, after the disaster that was last year for them, to get both cars home in the points with exactly no drama is probably quite reassuring there, because this has been on pretty much raw pace alone. We might have still been battling Zhou Guanyu and Lando Norris, but yeah, I think we'll take it. Speaking of, we got yellow flags out down in Sector 2. No! It's Mick Schumacher pulling off to the wayside here in the season opening Bahrain Grand Prix, and that is a heartbreaking end to what had been a fantastic race for our teammate up to that point. Schumacher out here in Sakira, and literally a lap ago I said, you know, if we had no drama right the way through this one. Unfortunately for our teammate though, some big points thrown away at the start of the all-new campaign there, as we've now inherited P7 off him, but that is heartbreaking for Mick. Fingers crossed we don't see the same fate, but poor old Haas always had a bit of a curse during season 1 of, race 1 of any season, both in real life and in the games. But yeah, what an unfortunate demise for Mick Schumacher here. 7 to go, we just got to get the car to the line. 4 laps to go then in this race. Pace just starting to fall away a little bit towards the end, but Ocon and Albon still battling behind. Means, yeah, the gaps either way are just opening up more and more there. Tsunoda's had some phenomenal pace late on in the afternoon there. The same can be said for Fernando Alonso. But of course, yeah, they both boxed a little bit later onto their hard tyres than I did. So yeah, we're starting to feel the graining a little bit more towards the end of the race. And of course, I mean, this Haas car, just due to the nature of the way you have to drive it, very much on edge, very skatey and oversteery, means it's probably going to wear out its tyres a little bit more than a lot of the other cars around it. But yeah, I mean, good opening race of the year, as long as we don't do anything crazy in the last few laps. Like I said, gutted for Mick, but as long as we can bring it home, I will take this very happily. On the final lap then, Carlos Sainz, for the first time ever in Formula 1, is a Grand Prix winner there, but Hamilton, not far behind at the end of the day there, will take the fastest lap bonus point away from the Ferrari there. So Hamilton clearly with a lot of pace in that Mercedes there. Perez comes through for P3. Charles Leclerc steals back the fastest lap point for Ferrari there with a solid P4 there. Alonso in 5th, Tsunoda in 6th there, and it looks like we are just about going to hang on for P7. These tyres have absolutely fallen off in the final couple of laps here. But yeah, the likes of Alonso and Tsunoda, they definitely got away from the midfield and absolutely romped away in this one today. I think, to be honest, for us, P7 was all we were ostensibly able to get here in the first race of the year. But at the final corner, 6 points on the board for Haas. We already outscored them last year, and that's going to be a good way to start.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. So let's review the drivers' standings. And with his performance today, Carlos Sainz assumes the top spot in the championship standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Bahrain GP there, and like I said, not the most exciting race in the world from our perspective, but I'm sure that's exactly what Gunther Steiner would have wanted there. Carlos Sainz, P2 to P1 at the end of the day there, takes home 25 points for his troubles, head of Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez there. Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap, head of Alonso, Tsunoda, myself there, and yeah, Esteban Ocon, last to 8th, a very impressive drive by the Alpine man there to finish ahead of Zhou Guanyu and Pierre Gasly there. Albon just got shuffled out of the points right at the very end of the Grand Prix ahead of Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris there. Having a look towards the rear of the field. Verstappen, zero progress during that Grand Prix there. 16th to 16th there. Finished pretty much a minute behind his teammate. Never have seen the Dutchman struggle as much as he has done this weekend there. The two Canadians finishing right at the back of the order there, but Mick Schumacher, the one man not to make it to the checkered flag there. That is a heartbreaking way to start the campaign for him. But at least we know this Haas car has got good pace here and definitely should be a good points threat throughout the entirety of this season there. Of course, Drivers' Championship exactly the same as the race results there. Ferrari lead the way though with double the points of Mercedes and Red Bull there. Alpine in 4th ahead of AlphaTauri and ourselves there with Alfa Romeo getting 2 points on the board as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. Apparently, we won't be able to show you our highlights reel, not that I would have anyway. But yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 2 of the year. We head to Jeddah. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members. So a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below. And yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.